Hi, guys, and welcome to the jury box, where we're going to talk about different trials and look at it from a jury's point of view. What do they need to see to be able to side with plaintiff or the defendant? Um, which witnesses were train wreck? Which ones had great testimony to kind of sway our opinion one way or another? So, in this video, we're going to talk about the trial that everyone's talking about, Johnny Depp versus Amber Heard. And I want to talk about the witnesses that were presented on both sides and kind of give you my take as far as looking at it from being a juror, who swayed me and what swayed me or what didn't. So let's start off with Amber Heard. Amber's witnesses, let's talk about her sister. First of all, I didn't find her sister really believable. It's her sister. You know, if you want a compelling witness, one that's believable, probably not blood related. I didn't find a lot of what she said believable. That's just my take. What's your take? Comment down below. Scam likely. All right, so the next witness would be Ellen Barkin. Here's the thing that kind of bothered me about Ellen Barkin. Amber's claiming that Johnny abused her during their relationship in the 2013, 14, 15 area, right? Ellen Barkin dated Johnny back in the 90s. We're talking 20, 30 years ago now. How is that relevant to the cases that is at hand? If Miss Barkin saw Johnny abuse her, that would be relevant. If she had intimate knowledge of Johnny and Amber's relationship, that would be pertinent to this. But just going on a stand and saying, yeah, he knocked me around 30 years ago. The funny thing is that Johnny has been in Hollywood since he was 12, 13, 14 years old. He's 50 something now. So yeah, I would imagine there'd be a lot more women who would have came forward. For example, take Harvey Weinstein. It only took one person to stand up and scream, and then all of a sudden you had hundreds of women standing up screaming, "Me too, me too, me too." And that's not the case with this. Amber's pretty much the only one besides Ellen Barkin who said anything derogatory against Johnny Depp. And let's talk about Amber's testimony. Let's first take the first. Okay, she was on the stand twice. First, as part of Johnny Depp's case, and then back on the stand for her countersuit. I found that during direct examination, she'd go off on tangents, but at first it seemed pretty believable. What struck me is that when she was describing the abuse, she'd break down crying, yet there were no tears. And in one instance that I remember real clearly in my mind, she was breaking down and sniffling and looked like she was crying. And then the very next question gets asked, and the crying automatically stopped, and now she's smiling about something. That struck me right there. That, wait a minute, this girl might not be telling the truth. And when she was put back on the stand for the countersuit, every time that Camille Vasquez, Johnny Depp's attorney, would comment or ask her a question, she never answered the question directly. It's kind of like when you ask a politician a question they don't want to answer, and they kind of go off on this little tangent off to the side, but never really answer the question directly. but make it act like that they did. That's what I took from it. She was very argumentative, and that was something very off-putting. So therefore, her case was a train wreck, right? When she was a witness on the stand, it was a train wreck. When they had their psychologist on the stand, the guy that looked like Elmer Fudd, but tall and skinny, I don't remember his name, started with an S. Somebody comment, I'm sure you'll tell me. That guy was a complete train wreck. Complete and utter train wreck. Did nothing to help her case whatsoever. When the psychologist for Johnny Depp, when she was on the stand, she was more believable. She was actually pointing to key points to rebut the psychologist on Amber's side, and came across more believable to me. When Johnny Depp was on the stand, first before we get to Johnny's testimony, because that's just funny. The motel owner, the guy out there in the desert, when he gets on the stand, he said, look, yeah, there was damage. I was really upset that there was damage. When I was told about the damage, because we just spent so much money, creating this trailer, and I go in there and it's just one busted lamp, cost $62. I didn't even charge him for it. Completely contradicted the witnesses from Amber's side and Amber's testimony herself. I found him to be very believable. What also struck me was the TMZ guy who stated, yeah, well, for us to be able to post something, it needs to be come from either a verified source or we have to verify it ourselves. If it comes from a verified source, we can post it within 15 minutes. But if it doesn't come from a verified source, then we need to investigate, okay, who took the video? Where was this taken? Is this legitimate? Has it been photoshopped? Has it been messed with or edited? And he said, no. Got the video from a source. It was he basically came out right out and said it, I believe, that they can post it within 15 minutes if it came from the person who filmed it, or the owner, the one person who had the copyright to it. So basically saying, yeah, Amber's the one who gave this video to us. And they posted it within 15 minutes. What the part that hurt Amber's case with this witness is the TMZ lawyer getting up before his testimony and saying, no, we don't want him to testify. No, not at all. Please, no. And all of his motions were absolutely squashed by the judge. That was so that made even the TMZ guy's testimony even more compelling. Where Johnny Depp's suit, well, before that, go there, let's go back to Johnny Depp's testimony. One of the most moving moments of his testimony was where he was asked, what have you lost? And he took his glasses off his face. He was looking into his eyes, and he said, nothing less than everything. I lost everything. I've lost reputation with studios, other actors, people that we work with, script writers, the general public, people who pay to actually see me in a movie. I've lost their trust because of this. That testimony right there was absolutely priceless. And it did strike me as, yeah, this guy is believable. All the other evidence that Johnny Depp's team put forward, it seemed like that every time they had a point to make, they presented evidence to that point to say, yes, this is true, and here's the evidence to prove it. Where in Amber's case, it was more like she had an accusation, but there wasn't any proof to back up the accusation. when they held up the two pictures of the spilled wine, and she was arguing with Camille Vasquez, Johnny Depp's attorney on cross, and saying, "Well, that's not the same picture. I don't know if that's from December or May." And then Ms. Vasquez read back into testimony her previous testimony, where she said that picture was from December, but then she said it was from May, and you couldn't nail it down. And Amber went on this tirade about, well, I need to see the metadata. She lost me there. You don't need to, if you're going to testify about a picture, and you say this picture right here is from this date, and then 2 months later we ask you, where's this picture from? Oh, that's from 2 months ago. This is someone who's an actress who's trained to be able to memorize things like lines and stuff. You'd figure she'd be able to remember where that picture was taken from. And to hold those two pictures up side by side and say that they were different when they clearly were not different. They were actually just the same picture with different lighting or blown up a little bit. Really struck me as, wow, that's kind of amazing how you could go that way. So my view altogether is that I believe Johnny Depp's team met the burden of proof. I believe that Amber Heard's team did not. I think the cross-examination presented by Johnny Depp's team was spot on. They went point by point by point. And each point that they made, they reinforced the evidence that matched that point. With Amber Heard's closing statements was just a train wreck all the way around. I think Rotten Board's going to get a bad rep for being a bad lawyer, just because he was associated with us. But I think that the Ellen lady was a train wreck to begin with. It was horrible. She was all over the place when it came to cross-examination. There was, or when she was on direct, it seemed like she was shooting from the hip and didn't prepare. Didn't prepare anything. When the closing statements didn't look like she prepared properly, and it went off the rails. So, in my view, as a jurist, I'm not a lawyer. I'm not a judge. I'm just a normal guy like all you folks out there that are watching this. Comment down below. Tell me what you think. What did you take away from each one of the witnesses? And which way did you lean at the end of the day when all is said and done? If you were a jury in that jury room right now trying to decide who wins, who loses, and who gets what would be yours? Here's my take. My final take is this. I believe that Johnny Depp proved his case. I believe Amber Heard did not. If you look at Losing Pirates of the Caribbean, 2 Fantastic Beasts movies, just those 3 alone, I believe was going close to $50 million, but there was more on top of it. I would award him $67 million. $7 million from the divorce, give it back to him, because Amber's not going to give it to the ACLU or the Children's Hospital. She's already proved that, right? Remember that big argument she got into about, when you buy a house, you don't pay for it all up front. Somebody does. The bank pays all the price up front, and then you go back and pay the bank back. A pledge is not a donation. A donation is not a pledge. You donate, you donate. You pledge, you pledge. 2 different separate things. She had that $7 million for 13 months and didn't give that money, right? So I didn't believe that aspect. That's another thing that really crushed her argument in court on her side. Didn't believe it at all. So there's my take. What's your guys' take? Go ahead and comment down below. Please like and subscribe. We're a brand new channel. We're going to be doing this a lot every day, trying to put out a new video, new content. When we have bigger cases and we go live, I'm going to grab viewers and say, come on in here and on video with us. Let's talk. Let's get different points of view. As y'all know, everyone can, you can have two people look at the same thing and come up with two different views on it. And I want to hear those different views. Might even grab some lawyers in here and have them talk to us about, what they saw or what we saw and how we would react versus the way they would react, since how they're lawyers, right? So please go ahead and like, subscribe, comment down below. I'll talk to you guys next time.